Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it.
Hello, everyone out there in TV land. Welcome to this edition of Let's Talk About It. I'm your host, Harold Lawary, and it's good to be back before you again. I'm joined today with Sheriff Richard Watson, who is the St. Clair County Sheriff, who's seeking re-election. And welcome to the program, Sheriff.
Thank you very much.
How are you doing?
Oh, I'm doing great.
Good to see you, sir.
Doing great.
So, Sheriff, tell the folks in TV land out here, why is it important to you to maintain your position there?
You know, I was told by an old-time politician that everybody knows, Merle Justice.
Right.
That,
Chief Justice.
You know, the sheriff, he was there for 30 years, and, you know, he told me, he goes, Rick, one day this job is going to come down to more about the people than it is yourself. And that's where I'm at right now. It's more about the people. It's more about the people that work for me than it is myself.
Right.
And, you know, I'm here to do the best job I can and serve the people.
Yeah. I remember Chief Justice Merle, and it's to my recollection that he recommended you for this post.
Oh, yes, he did.
Yeah.
Highly recommended it.
Yeah.
He always thought I was his illegitimate son. I don't know, but, you know, he always treated me like a son.
Yeah, he was a good guy.
Yes, he was.
Most definitely was. And so, Sheriff, there has been many negative remarks made in the community about the Sheriff's Department, one being that the jails are overcrowded and the people in the jails are underserved, you know, where they gotta wait a long time to see judges. Can you speak to that?
Well, I can tell you that's not true. You know, because we have court twice a day. We have video court, and we just had a brand new video system put into the jail. But let's just say you come in on a Friday, but if it's after 1:30, you will see a judge the next morning on Saturday morning. So, I mean, we make available judges and your ability to see a judge all the time throughout the jail. You know, one of the things that I did when I first came to the Sheriff's Department and took over was I looked at the jail. And one, I didn't think the jail was clean. So that's one of the first things that I did, and I'm sure a lot of the viewers will remember where I took a big hit because I was giving away free items to the cleanest cells in the jail. But here's the thing that people don't realize. If we don't clean up the jail, we don't make it clean, and we get an infection in that jail, it will cost the taxpayers $2 million to get it cleared up. So the first thing I wanted was a clean place for our people to be. And I'm talking about not only my people that work there, but the inmates that are there. They deserve a clean place to live.
Even if they are.
Even if they are incarcerated. You got to remember, the people in our jail are not convicted. These are not convicted people. And that's why they still have the same rights as everybody else. You know, another thing that I took a big hit over was I allowed my people to vote. And you know the reason why? Because they're not convicted.
Really?
These people are awaiting trial, and believe me, there's many people that come through the system that are acquitted in trial.
That's good to know.
So why should I take away their constitutional right to vote when they are not convicted of a crime? Because they're only accused of a crime.
And you live by the mantra there that they are innocent until proven
guilty. Yes.
Okay. So
and I treat everybody that way.
That's
I can tell you right now, you can't win an election from the people in the jail because they know I treat them right.
Okay.
You know.
Okay. Well, good. That's good to know. So, what about cultural sensitivity training? Do and how do your staff deals with these issues?
Well, you have to remember one thing. I have a staff that is mixed. We have black officers, white officers, females, males. We have every ethnicity, every males and females throughout our whole system. So, and also we train. Now, we not only train, but we walk the walk and we talk the talk, you know. And every day we all work together. That's not an issue at my place at all.
Now, Sheriff, in some of your literature that is out for reelection,
Right.
one of the slogan, one of the mantras you used on that literature is "You're the sheriff for all the people."
Yes.
Talk a little bit about that.
You know, law enforcement is not a political sport that I say. I say I work for everybody. If you're a victim of a crime or you're even accused of a crime, I don't ask you what party affiliation you're from. I don't care if you're black or white. I don't care if you're from East St. Louis or if you're from New Athens. You know, we work for all the people and we treat everybody equal.
Very good, very good. What changes have you made since you've been there?
You know, Harold, I'm going to tell you, we have done so much in the 6 years that I've been there. It's hard for me to reminisce, I'm going to tell you, because we just move from one thing to the next. But I will tell you this. You know, when I came into the sheriff's department, my grandson was coming there to see me one day. And I thought, where's he at? So I looked outside my office and I seen that he was talking to one of the sergeants at the front desk. And so I thought, I'm not going to get in the middle of their conversation. So I waited till he came in and I said, Kevin, what were you doing? He goes, well, Sergeant Foltz was my DARE instructor when I was a kid. Now you got to remember, my grandson at this time is 20 years old. He's 6'5" and
Right.
270 pounds.
Right.
And when he was in 6th grade, this made such an impression on him that I thought, you know what? If I'm going to leave a legacy in my career at the Sheriff's Department, it's going to be dedicated to children. And that's exactly what we've done. We dedicate ourselves to kids through DARE, through our Scared Straight program, where we try to help kids and parents change their lives around to where they can become productive citizens. We have a lot of success stories that we can tell. And, you know, if we don't get these kids when they're younger, I want to keep them out of jail. I don't want them to be in jail. I want them to know that education and leading a clean life and treating mom and dad with respect is important, so we can leave that legacy. And I can tell you, everybody at the Sheriff's Department is working toward those goals.
Now, Sheriff, I know you, but I think it's important for my constituents, my audience, to get to know who you are,
Right.
the person, the real person, you know. And I'm just gonna put it out there. I met you many, many years ago
Yeah.
in Cahokia,
Right.
when you were serving there, you
Right.
know. And I found you very interesting then. You know, we developed a good relationship.
Right.
So I want the people to know who you are and what is your opponent offering as opposed to what you're offering.
Well, I can tell you, the only thing that my opponent could offer is he's always trying to bash me, and I call him the master manipulator of the truth. You know, the one thing that I've done my entire career, 40-year career to tell you the truth, is I've always tried to do the right thing, treat people with respect, and if you do that, you will always win.
Right.
And I've always done that my entire career. And the other thing is, you know, as a young guy, a lot of things that I never even thought about then, I just did it because I was dedicated to kids. I always taught kids sports. I was a school teacher 40 years ago too, that a lot of people don't know. But I always
I
taught.
don't.
Yeah, see?
You taught school?
Yes, I taught
Wow.
school. Yeah. I
Would you
taught
teach
school.
law enforcement?
No, no. I was a health and PE teacher.
Wow.
But, I've always been dedicated to kids, and you got to remember, those kids today are 40 years old.
Mm-hmm.
So, if I'm walking in and out of the grocery store, somebody will call me coach. Hey,
Right.
coach!
Hey,
and I'll
Coach.
look
They
over,
remember.
and they'll
Yeah.
remember the
We do
good
remember our
times
coaches.
and
Yeah.
how I treated them as kids and how I mentored them to become productive adults. And that's what I'm still trying to do today, is mentor young people to become productive adults.
Is this job stressful to you?
No, I love this job. That's the thing. I love this job, and it's never stressful. Now, it does get awful busy sometimes, but it's never a stress type thing because I love what I'm doing.
Very good. How, moving forward, how will the Sheriff's Department be involved with community-oriented policing?
Here's the thing, and this is something that's a big buzzword today. Long before Ferguson, we've been doing community-oriented policing. If you call the Sheriff's Department and you send me a letter and you say that you want somebody to come and talk to your group, I can tell you where I just came from today. We were over at the PSOP building with the seniors talking about home safety. If somebody wants somebody from the Sheriff's Department to come and talk, even myself, we go and we talk to people and we're active in the community. If you just want a canine to come by to do a demonstration for the kids at school, we do that. We do that all the time. And I always said when I first took over this job, I never want anybody to say the only time we see is at election time, because nobody can say that. We are active all year long, every year, and not just election year.
So how do you look at all the other community woes, that comes along with the inmate incarceration? Like, are they safe there? What's the safety measures there? Visitation, just things in general that goes along with the police department and all of these community woes that we have.
The big thing at the Sheriff's Department and at the jail there, we are considered a correctional facility. Okay, so there's a lot of rules that we don't make up. That comes from the state of Illinois. We don't make up the rules, we just have to follow them. But I can tell you this, my people are community oriented. And I'll tell you some of the things that happened when I first took over. I walked through and I seen a lady sitting there and I thought, what is she doing? It was about 7:30 in the morning, so I was walking over to get a cup of coffee. So after I drank that cup of coffee, she was still sitting there. And finally I stopped and I said to her, ma'am, what are you waiting on? Well, I'm waiting on to bond somebody out. Well, at that point in time, that kind of pushed a button that I thought, I'm going to get this done. And I went back and I reamed some people out that, hey, the people that are coming in to bond somebody out of this jail didn't commit any kind of crime. They're just normal, everyday people that have a loved one here, and you're going to make sure this gets done. And from that day forward, that's how things have went. The other thing is, when attorneys come in, they're coming in to see their clients. And